Welcome everyone to this Pillai Center live webinar. I'm Lalita Devi and I'm a Pillai Center teacher, if you don't know me. And I'm also a Vedic astrologer at AstroVed. And so welcome again. And this is your chance to learn more about Saturn and how to end any trouble coming from Saturn. The thing about Saturn is that we think we know Saturn, but some people don't know the good parts, the good aspects of Saturn, but we all know the struggles of delays and everyone is so scared of Saturn. So I'm here to dispel that fear and to tell you that there's good news. So the good news is that Saturn is relevant for all and not only for those who are undergoing certain periods that are very significant and that are kind of difficult. Let's say the truth. But everyone has Saturn in their birth chart, and we all have to learn the lessons of Saturn. In one area of our lives, it's usually more dominant, but sometimes more than one or two. And especially career, because Saturn rules career. And our work, Saturn wants to mature us. So we will do our duty and we will not waste our time. And also we can become more sensitive to other people's needs, that we don't think just about our own needs, that we feel, okay, we're all in this together. Let's help each other. And there are people who have no food and no water to drink. So we have to take responsibility. And that is what Saturn wants us to do. So we need to take responsibility. But this is not a punishing planet per se. He's a great teacher. He teaches great wisdom. I know some of you are coming from my chanting call, from the Saturn Solutions chanting call that we're having every Saturday. So if this is a repetition, please bear with me a few more minutes, but there will be more I will add later. And so Saturn doesn't want to punish us. It doesn't kill. So in Vedic astrology, we use this strong term. He's not a killer. He is a teacher. He wants to mature our soul, as I've said. So how do we get on the good side of Saturn? Some people are born lucky, and so two names that come to mind are Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. We know they're powerful. One was a powerful individual and very wealthy, lots of money. And Saturn contributes to our wealth, contributes to our promotions in a job or our authority. And for example, politicians often have a very strong Saturn. People who rise in life have a strong Saturn. CEOs have a strong Saturn. So because it is the planet of long-term gain and also responsibility. I mean, even a CEO doesn't have it so easy all the time. There's work to do, and there are meetings, and there are failures, and so we all have to learn some things from Saturn, but also we get great gifts. So one, the most important, I believe, is wisdom, because with wisdom, you can also achieve that 200% life. But the bad part of Saturn is that this wisdom doesn't come through ease and joy. Sometimes it just comes through the hard work and the suffering and the frustration, the delays, and I made a mistake all over again. I have to start it all over again. So that kind of fatigue that we get from Saturn, that is not necessary, because we are here actually to find the solutions. So Saturn can also make us very lethargic when it's not well placed in somebody's birth chart. Saturn brings laziness, but I'm not saying that as a judgment, but like lack of energy to do something, really no lack of motivation. So we're here also to overcome that, because in the Saturn Solutions program, you will get all the tools you need, all the blessings you need to have a fantastic life and not having to go through the harsh lessons. You will have to learn something. It's unavoidable, but it doesn't have to be so much agony, because we can learn and maybe there is a little delay, but you won't have to wait for years. Maybe you will have to wait a week or not at all. So that's the good news about this program, is that Dr. Pillai is offering us a chance to avoid suffering. He is very, very compassionate. He always tells us there's no need to wait for what you want. There's no need to be an ascetic and renounce life and what is joyous about this life on Earth. But he actually wants us to take responsibility for our lives. And we can only do that if we're very alert. So knowing more about the planets and about Saturn will give you that sense of responsibility and also power over your life. Because Saturn is a powerful planet, as I said, it doesn't just take away things. Most of the time, it gives you something. It gives you an understanding. It gives you the resilience. He will teach you perseverance and patience, although you feel some frustration, of course, but also some kind of long-term stamina that you can accomplish your life goals, because that's what we came from. We came to learn and also to reach some goals and to do our work. So this program also offers the help of amazing archetypal beings. And just to mention a few, as I was saying earlier, if you have heard about the epic, the Ramayana, there's a beautiful story of how a terrible demon, a very powerful demon, whose name was Ravana, kidnapped Saturn. He kept Saturn in the dungeons. So Saturn was very suffering a lot. He was in agony. He felt imprisoned, and he was. So Hanuman, a great devotee of Lord Rama, came to rescue him. And Hanuman is the monkey face god. I'm sure you've seen a picture here on Pillai Center or on AstroVed or Pillai Center Facebook, maybe. Anyway, so he has a monkey face and he's very, very powerful. He's very fit. He's huge. He grows very, very tall. So he was able to enter the kingdom of Ravana, and he was able to also rescue Saturn. So Saturn was so happy about being free again that he blessed Hanuman, and he said, whoever prays to you, all your devotees will be protected and they won't receive the harsh effects from me. I will respect them. I will not hurt them. So in this program, you will get a monthly fire ritual to Saturn. The fire ritual is the most powerful technology that the Vedas have left for us. So there are Vedic specialists in India that perform these fire rituals on your behalf. And you know the power of prayer, it works beyond time and space. It comes to us. It's an amazing technology, so it's done on our behalf. And I've seen amazing miracles in my life from fire rituals. They are the technology that changes very fast. And also we have protective mantras. So mantras protect the mind. And this mantra, Narbavi, that we'll be chanting in the program, once a week we get together, which creates amazing energy. It creates the momentum that all together we have so much power. Sometimes we don't realize that. That's why we want to come together with our global community to chant together and maximize the effects of this beautiful mantra. So let me tell you a little bit a story of what happened to me the first time I saw this mantra. So I just started to study with Dr. Pillai, maybe in 2007, or maybe a year later, I don't remember. But I read this mantra, and it said that Kakabushunda, a Siddha, so from the Siddha tradition, from the Siddha lineage, had given this mantra to remove suffering and all kinds of suffering. So this mantra, whose literal translation is good things will happen. I simply read that mantra once, and I was going through a difficult period, a bit difficult time. So I read that mantra and I read the translation, good things will happen. Something happened to me. I don't know what happened, at what level, whether it was the intellectual level or the subtle level, and probably simultaneously on several levels. I felt an expansion of the chest and started to breathe better. I felt so uplifted. There was so much power in that word, and the sound itself has the power to remove negativity from your mind. So we have also this technology, and when we come together to chant it, it's very, very powerful. The other thing, and of course, when you're in the program, the mantra is empowered by Dr. Pillai. So because the mantras work better when they're given, in a program, and there is an initiation of some kind, something to that effect. So there is an exchange of energy. So I can give you 10 mantras, but if they've not been empowered, they won't be as powerful. The other thing I can tell you about these archetypes, I love Kalki Karupaswamy, and I've been in India many times with Dr. Pillai and for his birthday trip, and we always do something to honor Kalki Karupaswamy, and he is a very powerful archetype. He comes in right away after being invoked, and he being a semigod, he intervenes very fast, and he's very, very powerful. So his name is, it's not Kalki Karupaswamy, his name is Karupaswamy. And I was there once, the first time I heard about Karupaswamy, I was in India, I was with Dr. Pillai in a very large group. And the Vedic specialist was invoking Karupaswamy with a mantra, etc. And it was ready to channel him. And I saw at least 20 or 15, 20 crows that flew, and they sat on a tree near this priest that was starting the fire ritual. And they flew so fast. And I was flabbergasted. I'd never seen such a powerful time. Like, time stopped and all these crows came. And so you know that this is connected to Saturn, and this archetype is very, very powerful, and he also can help you with Saturn and gives you miracles right away. And the other archetype is Ayyappa, and is the son of Mohini, the feminine aspect of Lord Vishnu. He has a form that is female, and so the son of Shiva and Mohini. And they had this son who is an ascetic, is a very, very powerful being, and he also can control Saturn. So you have all these amazing beings and these archetypal beings working on your psyche, working on your life, on all your bodies, the subtle bodies and the physical bodies and the mental body, etc. And things will shift if you're undergoing some difficulty in your career. It is believed that this is all you can do: fire rituals and chanting, because you clean the mind, you protect the mind with a mantra, and also you have all these fire rituals, this powerful technology that can literally change your life fast, because you don't have to wait forever for this. I brought the goddess Sarasvati because she rules this lunar phase. So she's there behind me. The other things that you can learn about Saturn, if you want a relationship, we all know how difficult it is sometimes in relationships if we're not happy. We've all had some moments like that. So a very positive, long-term and committed relationship comes from Saturn, because Saturn gives you the caution, gives you the heads up, hey, careful, don't commit too soon. And when you're actually ready, Saturn helps you to make a long-term commitment. So those are the best relationships, because I know it's more modern to say, oh, let's see what happens. But most people, things will happen that the relationship sometimes cannot withstand the pressure from society or things that happen. So a committed relationship is so important for happiness, because I believe only in a committed relationship people can be fully happy. And Saturn can help you do that, can help you commit and trust that everything will be fine, because you have looked at this relationship from every point of view and you think, yes, he is the one, she is the one. So you'll know Saturn can help you in that. And the other thing that Saturn can do, he rules some difficult houses called Dushtanas. So it's the natural planet that rules those houses. And in a way, they all have to do something with health, of course, also money losses. So Saturn controls those houses, and when you're pacifying Saturn, so you're so blessed, because even those issues of health, Saturn rules, for example, the knees and also the ankles, and in general, the legs. We say Saturn controls the legs down to the ankles. The feet is a different planet. And Saturn now is in the sign of Jupiter. Jupiter gives a lot of positivity, a lot of optimism to Saturn. And so if you're, and also Jupiter is the teacher of the gods, the teacher of the devas, the so-called devas, these shining beings. And right now is the perfect time to sign up for this, because you learn new things and new teachings will make more sense to you right now. And they are very, very powerful because you have all this positive energy from Jupiter. Also, there are two other planets in a sign of Jupiter. I was saying earlier, Venus and Mercury. And we all want to have a good Venus in our lives. So when you start a program in a positive planetary time, things are going to work much better. Things are, so it is all about the beginning. In Vedic astrology, that is probably the most important teaching, the most important principle. The beginning is everything. So to know how a planet is going to help you, look at the beginning, at what's going on in the sky at the beginning of your action. If you look at this the other way, you can actually choose to start an activity, a course, a university course or a graduate program, anything that you're interested in at the right time. There are many, many chances, a lot more chances that you'll be successful in that. So the beginning is everything. And this is the time for Jupiter is also exchanging signs with Venus. It's a long story, but this means that Jupiter and Venus, everything that is beautiful, that makes life pleasant, and Jupiter, the great teacher of everything that is expansive, good fortune, positivity, will come to you through anything you do right now. So also there's another thing I want to tell you about, even though it is strictly astrological. It can explain a lot about what Saturn can do and how fortunate it is to have a program like this with Dr. Pillai's blessings. He really thinks that everybody should be in this program. But if you're undergoing the Sadesati, the Mahadasha, so the long period of Saturn, which is 19 years, so that is a significant part of your life. And also the sub-period called Bhukti, okay. All these sub-periods also, they are very influential in our lives, because even if you're undergoing a planet that is very good for you, say for example the moon blesses you with a lot of good things, and then Saturn rules the sub-period, that is going to affect everything. So also I was going to say there is an astrological event that is important right now. Mars is in Sagittarius. That is also ruled by Jupiter and is going to meet with Saturn. There is already meeting with Saturn. We call already that a conjunction when two planets are together. And this means that all this energy of Mars, all this passion of Mars, all this courage, all this amazing energy, but also some aggression, something to watch for, is going to be mixed with Saturn's energy. So although this conjunction, this meeting of Saturn and Mars has some very good aspects, it is also something that we usually do remedies for, at least I do, and Vedic astrologers know. So if you're in this program at this time, you'll be protected also from this very powerful influence of Saturn and Mars together. So you get the good aspects of that, and you, for example, you get a lot of energy to fulfill your wishes or reach your goals, because Mars is about action. And when the energy is positive, also your actions will have a good outcome. So you'll be protected from this very long transit that lasts until the beginning of May, on May 2nd, I think. So here, overall, it's a wonderful time to do something new, educational and also spiritual, because Sagittarius, where Saturn is placed, is also one of the spiritual, more spiritual. All the signs can be spiritual, but Sagittarius and Pisces, particularly because they're ruled by Jupiter, the teacher of the Devas, all these shining, benevolent beings. So having said all that, now let's look at your questions, and let's see if you have any questions, and comments also are welcome, and I'll do my best to answer. I have zero sound. Oh dear, I hope the sound was good. Can somebody let me know if you can hear me? Can you all hear me? We can hear you. Thank you. What mantras can we do? So the traditional mantra for Saturn, there's many, but Dr. Pillai wants us to use an easy one. Om Shanicharaya Namaha. Om Shanicharaya Namaha. So that's a main mantra for Saturn. If you're familiar with them, I cannot give you any right now, but you can use a mantra to invoke Hanuman, or also I've mentioned two other archetypes, but I think there's a fourth one. I don't remember which one. Narbadi. It is spelled differently, as far as I know, but yes. But we want to give that mantra only through Dr. Pillai, and because it needs to be empowered. It is spelled, by the way, differently. But it's NarbhaveE. If I can read more questions. Her name is Mohini, the feminine aspect of Vishnu. Mohini is a form of Vishnu. No, it's not only because of Saturn. If we have health issues, any planet can bring health problems. But Saturn is what we call the karaka, so the signification of an ailment in the legs, etc., and other areas also. Okay, excuse me, I have a tickle. So how do we know if our prayers are being listened to by Saturn? Okay, that's a great question. We'll know when our problems end, right? So if we're having a problem in career, there's stagnation, everything stopped, there are so many delays, you're not getting the promotion you want, or you're not finding a job, so you know that you're being affected, especially if a Vedic astrologer will tell you you're in this period of Saturn and this is what you can do. And then if right away you find a job or you get the promotion you want, then you'll know that that problem is gone. So Saturn brings fears and also lethargy and all kinds of psychological issues that you're afraid of taking action, so you hold back, etc. Well, I cannot say if Venus in the fifth house is good or bad. It sounds good. Together they're friends, etc. But it's so specific by chart. Every ascendant is different. Also, you have to see where the moon is. So only a full consultation, the astrologer will see everything and will be able to tell you. Okay. Welcome, Surya Ji. Thanks for joining. Any other questions? What relation between mother affliction? Oh, okay. That would be the moon. Sometimes Saturn affects the moon. It's influencing the moon, so also the mother can suffer. This is what we say in Vedic astrology, that the houses that are being looked at by Saturn, even though Saturn is not there, those Saturn glances, that look of Saturn called the drishti, is not beneficial to those houses. So whatever that means for your birth chart, for some people it's the mother, for some people it's the father, for some people it's the children, some people just money or wealth. So it really depends, because this is a very powerful planet. Dr. Pillai calls it the most powerful planet of all. Not only does it have this long-term influence when you undergo Isma Dasha, most people go once, but some people, depending, some ascendants don't have to deal with the long period of Saturn, but I don't remember. I think if you have a long life, also Saturn rules longevity. So to make sure that we live a long and healthy life, also we want to make sure that Saturn is not harming that part of life. Since Sadesat is for, sorry about the cough drop, I don't want to interrupt the workshop. Since Sadesati is for 7 years, be it education, Saturn can afflict any area of your chart, as I said before. Can be education, yes. Saturn can cause broken education when it does certain things, looks at certain houses of education. Definitely, if you're in business, you want to have a strong Saturn. So I totally recommend this program. I am in it. I don't just talk. I actually walk the talk. If I'm recommending this program, I am 100% committed to it, and I believe in it. And I felt already an upliftment, thinking that I've been taken care of, and also the mantra is very powerful. After chanting it for 20 minutes, you'll notice the difference. And also being together in a group with people who are, I needed to do the program. I need to do the program. Yes, I think it's very good for anyone, regardless of what period you're undergoing. Because, so I'll tell you a little bit. So Saturn rules 2 houses, okay? So no matter where it's placed, those 2 houses are ruled by Saturn. So you want a strong Saturn to protect those areas of your life. And he also looks at 3 houses, the 7th house from himself, another 2 houses. So it's too long to explain. He has a huge influence on our lives. And those who think, oh, I escaped Saturn, nobody does, not even Shiva. And Dr. Pillai says this, tells us this story that Shiva too was supposed to undergo sadhasati, and I think sadhasati, or maybe the 20 years, I don't remember, the 19th year, the 19 years of Saturn, and Shiva ran away and went to hide in a garbage can. He was all satisfied. Or in another story, in another myth, Shiva goes underwater and escapes from Saturn by being underwater, under the ocean, at the bottom of the ocean. So when he finally came out of this hiding, and he challenged Saturn and said, see, you cannot touch me. He said, what do you mean? You lived in a garbage can for all these years. What do you mean I didn't influence you? Or you lived underwater, you couldn't do anything else. You were just running away. So you were a runaway Shiva. So how come that you say that I didn't touch you? Obviously, Saturn had so much power, even over Shiva. And Ganesha, if you haven't heard that story, Ganesha lost his head because of Saturn. Goddess Parvati invited Saturn, all the planets, to the naming of the child. And Saturn said, no, I don't want to hurt the child, the baby. I don't want to look at him. And Parvati said, no, you have to go. Otherwise, the Navagraha, the 9 planets, won't be complete. You have to be there. And I want you to bless the child. And he also refused, and she insisted. He finally went. And he just a little look, and Ganesha was beheaded. He had a normal child's head, baby's head. And then Shiva had to go and get an elephant's head, and placed it on Ganesha. So these stories are very significant because they work on our subtle levels, not only on the psyche, at the intellectual level, but it is an eternal reality. This myth is an eternal reality, because everything else otherwise is a momentary reality. And we freeze it ourselves. Dr. Pillai says we live in a frozen reality because we do it, and we have to take responsibility for it. So let's see if there are more questions. Hi, Archetype Hanuman. Will he help during Saturn's periods? Yes, he will. If you contact him, if you do something, there's always an exchange of energy, which you can also call sacrifice. Like, for example, in the Vedic tradition, there are things put in the fire. So there's a lot of food and fruit, and sometimes saris and clothing, all kinds of things that are put in the fire. And they have an energy, they have a value, and they are sacrificed to connect through the fire, which is like a remote control, the infrared. And all that energy that is gathered opens a portal, so to speak, to another dimension where you can connect with these celestial being. I believe it literally happens that way, even if you don't believe it. If you don't believe it literally, believe it at the archetypal level, because nothing that we do has no symbols, no story, no myth. Everything we do, even if we just believe in the story of the corporation, so that there's a position of CEO, that's also a myth we tell ourselves, because sometimes people start working in a corporation, don't become CEOs, right? Unless you start your own business, then you can be a CEO right away. Oh, by the way, if you want to become CEO of your company, Saturn is the planet to come. I'm noticing a difference with the new mantra. I feel much lighter. Oh, wonderful. Happy to know. Will a sesame oil lamp help? Yes. So the other thing you can do at home, I'll give you a couple of things you can do at home. A few steps. You can buy a lamp, or you can go to an Indian grocery store. I think they sell them, or in some Asian imports, and get a brass, usually they're brass lamp. And then you can put some sesame oil in it. And then you can put a few sesame seeds, the black ones, the black type, and put a wick, and you can light that. And on Saturdays, it's very important. And also during the Saturn Hora, sometimes I do that when I need to do something important and I want to make sure I'm protected, etc. So Saturn loves that. He's said to have a very dry, in Ayurveda they call that vata, a very dry body, wind. It's called the wind element, vata. And Saturn is very dry and full of pain, etc. And he's lame, so he limps. And by offering oil, you're helping Saturn feel better, because all that oil will take away the wind. It's called dosha, the element of air that causes arthritis and suffering and pain, etc. I cannot say specifically by house, because it really depends on your birth chart, not Saturn. I can tell you what Saturn in the first house. If it's a Libra ascendant, it's fantastic news for you, because Saturn is exalted. But if it's another ascendant, it will be different results, so I cannot tell. Saturn in the first house in a good place, it's a good thing. It brings a wealth, it brings a lot of good things. So now I'm looking, so don't panic yet, but definitely get an astrological consultation. A full Vedic astrology consultation will explain that. Which mantra is best to chant to make Saturn beneficial? We have one in this program, so if you want to sign up, that's a great. But actually you can also chant Om Shanicharaya Namaha. Number one is answering. Sorry, I don't understand. When the lamp goes out, I'm sorry if I'm jumping here and there, but there are a lot of questions and I keep coming. So I hope I didn't miss anyone. I'm looking for a new job, also suffering from financial problems. Okay. Anything career related, Saturn is, we call it Karaka. Karaka means no matter what's your ascendant, no matter where Saturn is placed, Saturn is influential for career and for promotions, and also the financial aspect of a job, because you can work all day and have a job and okay, you're employed, but what if you're not making the money that you need for your living? What if you're struggling? So Saturn and a peace, Saturn will give you also better finances. And as I said, it can also make you rich, very rich. Okay, Mercury is the planet primarily, but still, Saturn is very, very important. Maggie, which mantra are you talking about? There's a mantra that is given, it's Narbhavi, but it will be empowered in the program. And it's, okay, let me tell you a little bit about this mantra, as long as it's being mentioned, so everybody can understand what we're talking about. So there's a mantra given by a great Siddha whose name was Kakabushunda, and he took the form of a crow, and his wisdom was incredible. And no, I cannot give a mantra for Hanuman, I'm sorry. Also, it won't be empowered. You can Google it, you'll find lots of videos by Dr. Pillai. So when he gave this mantra, he gave it to remove suffering, to help eliminate suffering on the earth plane. And the mantra means good things will happen. And the sound is Narbhavi, Narbhavi. And it's so powerful that I told the story a little earlier today. When you tell the story, when you read the mantra itself, it will give something. It will uplift you instantaneously. It happened to me. I'd never seen this mantra. I just read it, Narbhavi. I felt an expansion. I felt in the chest that I felt that I was breathing better, that I wasn't as worried anymore. So it definitely has an effect, even for one instant. But that was given by Dr. Pillai, so it was empowered. That is the whole difference. I forget which teacher. I think Adi Shankaracharya or Osho. I don't want to make a mistake. Somebody told the difference about, or maybe Swami Rama told the story about giving a mantra. And so this Swami, let's say a Swami, had received a mantra from his guru, and he was able to perform miracles because of this mantra. So somebody was watching him, said, I also want the mantra. And he said, sure, you can have it. And he gave it to him. But it wasn't empowered by the original guru. So the mantra didn't work. And this person was criticizing him, saying, oh, look, you're a fraud. You gave me a fake mantra. But the point was the initiation. For Lord Hanuman, best is to chant Hanuman Chalisa. Yes, that's also very good. Yes, Hanuman Chalisa, absolutely. It's a great remedy for every Saturday. You can read it or listen to it. If someone is facing problem financially, literally with zero income, and wants to enroll in 12 months, you can do it for a month. So now for the 12-month program, they're offering they're extending the 20% discount, which is very significant. But also you can sign up for 1 month. So everybody can do that, I believe. I mean, almost everyone. Saturn in your third house. Okay, I don't know what that means because I haven't seen the chart. Depends on your moon, it depends on your ascendant, and only in a full consultation I can see the entire chart and I can tell you. So it has some effects. Maybe it rules, I don't know, your neighborhood, your siblings, and your communication. So these are the things of the third house. Moon phase, 9 waxing moon, ascendants. Okay, I cannot do readings. I'm sorry. I know that you have all these burning questions, and I know the feeling because before becoming a Vedic astrologer, I always had all these questions, and I was concerned about one thing, but then it turned out I should have been concerned about something else. And so really talking to a Vedic astrologer, a professional one, is so important because it removes a lot of doubts and mistakes that we keep making because we don't understand where the challenges are. And maybe, yes, you know you're suffering for relationship, but you don't think, oh no, I should not have relationships, or this relationship is not good for me. Or if you're having problems with finances, you think, oh, it's because of my relationship, but then it's something else. So I'm trying to find fitting examples, but it really depends on your chart and the periods you're undergoing. So the dashas are very important. What was the mantra mentioned? It was Narbhavi. It was given by a Siddha, and in the program it's empowered by Dr. Pillai and chanted by a Pillai Center master teacher, Mohini, who happens to be Mohini. So that is a very powerful additional solution that you have. So I hope this was useful. I don't see any new questions. I'm sorry if I missed yours. And this is the first part of a 2-part webinar. So the next one will be on March 24th. Make sure you sign up for that, and you keep your questions if I didn't answer your questions today, and I'm looking forward. Okay. Oh, I want to read this. I was born under the Saturn. Okay. According to astrology, I found I was Hanuman in my previous life. Okay. In that time, I didn't even know who Hanuman was. Thanks to you, I discovered that. Okay. Awesome. This 20% discount coupon for Ultimate Saturn program is not working. All right, can you please write, I don't know if you're trying to sign up with with AstroVed or with Pillai Center. So Ambika, if you're listening, there is an issue with the discount. Can you please type whether you're trying to sign up with Pillai Center, or maybe it's AstroVed. So with AstroVed, okay. Can you please write email support@astroved.com and someone will help you. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, the computer would cut out the program. Oh, I'm sorry. So there'll be a recording of this, and you can listen again if something wasn't clear. And there'll be part 2 soon. So stay tuned for that. It's in about 2 weeks. Actually, exactly in 2 weeks. You're welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for joining. See you soon.